So today I'm just going to be sharing with you why I do not blanket my horses. Now, really, if you think about it, horse blankets were created for people's convenience because in the winter, horses get very, very dirty. You know, they roll around a lot in mud, and then when their person goes to take them in for a ride or to take them to a show or a trail ride, the horse is just covered in dirt, and it makes it really hard to get the horse clean. So blankets were really invented initially to help prevent the horse's coat from getting dirty, to make it easier for people. Horse blankets are also great for older horses to help them retain their heat, because when it's really cold out, especially with older horses, they burn so many calories trying to keep themselves warm that a blanket can help reduce the calories that they're going to spend, because the blanket's going to help keep them warm. So a lot of English riders in the English world will clip their horses, and clipping a horse just basically means shaving back some of their coat. Hello, Jem. And hi, Jemmy. And when horses are clipped, it can be really dangerous for them to be in any cold temperature without a blanket on, because they can get sick, and they can get very cold because they don't have their natural hair coat to help keep them warm. So if you have a horse that's clipped, putting a blanket on makes sense. So if you have a horse living in a really, really cold temperature with no shelter, such as no three-sided shelter or a little stall to go into, or even some trees to take shelter in, a blanket can help protect the horse during those times. If it's the type of weather where it's windy and freezing and wet, then I think putting a blanket on a horse makes sense, because although their outer layer of their coat is water repellent, when you have the wind and the water, that can cause your horse's underlayers to get very, very wet and can lead to things like pneumonia or other forms of sickness in the horse. I don't blanket my horses because of multiple reasons, but the first is that my horses have access to a three-sided shelter. So they can go in there if it's rainy, if it's hailing, if it's snowing, and they can get out of those weather elements, and they have shelter. So if you look at Gunner here, Gunner has a very, very thick winter coat that he's grown. And look at that, I can put my whole hand in there and just practically lose my hand in all that fur. So my horses have grown super thick coats. And here's Gemini's coat. Like, look how thick this hair is. Like, look at that, so thick. He stays nice and warm. They don't need blankets, and the only reason I would blanket them now if I were to, but they already grew their super thick coats, is if I wanted to help keep them stay clean and dry, because I ride them a lot. And as you can tell, look at this big, I know, Jemmy, look at this big stain. It's got a big stain. Most of the time they have more mud than this on them, but I just want them to be horses. So horses are notorious for damaging blankets. They tear them a lot, and if they get torn, you have to repair them, find someone to repair them if you can't do it yourself, or buy a new blanket. And horse blankets cost anywhere from about $60 to $200. I would love to hear whether or not you guys blanket your horses or not, and the reasons why in the comment box below. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe. And this dumpling will see you in the next video. Bye!